reason to believe that by the end of the day, an attempt will be made on David Palmer's life.
This is not just about David Palmer. This is personal. They're coming after me.
There's a nuclear device under terrorist control. This bomb is going to go off today.
Someone just dropped off a dead body infected with the virus.
The CIP firewall protects every major infrastructure system in
Someone is trying to make sure that this piece of agreement does not happen.
How do these people get control of an entire airport?
Can't be Jack Bauer.
The CTU agent is named Jack Bauer.
Who is Jack Bauer?
Jack Bauer.
You know? I've heard the name. Hundreds of thousands of people have died.
Every war has casualties. No one is innocent.
You really believe that?
As strongly as you believe in what you believe.
You get back down there and you go on serving your country.
You have lost everyone and everything you ever had by doing what you think is necessary.
When I am brought into a situation, there is a reason. Complete the objectives of my mission at all costs.
You can look the other way once. Pretty soon, that's all you're doing is compromising.
Don't keep score by counting how many lives we saved, but by how many we lost.
I've never taken Jack Bauer. This is the longest day of my life.
This isn't how you thought it would end, is it, Jack?
This isn't over yet.
Welcome to the news. We started off today with just the opening trailer for the new 24. That's actually going to be premiering very, very soon. I believe it's going to be May that it's going to be premiering, which is kind of exciting because I was a huge fan of 24 when it came out, but then it kind of fell off in the last couple of seasons. So this is only a miniseries, though. There's not going to be anything else beyond that. So either way, it's going to be fun. I'd like to see Kiefer Sutherland back into his role as Jack Bauer, and I'm sure everyone would because, you know, Jack Bauer is pretty badass. Surprised that he did it, though, being as which he's been busy as of late doing, I know he's been doing some voice acting for Mortal Kombat, but he also just recently took on the role as Snake from the Metal Gear series. He replaces David Hayter, who is a fan favorite, and now is playing the role of Big Boss, well, which originally was Snake, but he became Big Boss before the new Snake was born in the later series. So, very interesting. Still recovering from the weekend. Toronto ComicCon took a lot out of me. I got to meet a lot of new people. I got to meet some interesting cosplayers. I met a cosplayer named Megan Douglas. She's pretty badass. And now we have also met, what was her name? Betty Newcomb. Yes, check out their pages on Facebook because they're actually good fans of the Droids page. So just let them know that we sent you. That's all that matters. But beyond that, I had a great time. I got to meet Eliza Dashku, and I got to meet Iron Singleton, and let me tell you, T-Dog is quite a nice guy. I'm telling you, go on your way to meet this guy. I know no one ever wants to pay for a photo op. It's like $50, but it's worth the money, especially for him. I'm not saying Eliza wasn't, but you know, T-Dog really went out of his way to make sure he had a good time, and that actually meant a lot because the photo op was actually supposed to be for my girlfriend, but she recently got divorce papers from her gallbladder, so safe to say that had to be removed, and I had to take her place, obviously, otherwise you don't get refunded. And I told him, and he's like, "Oh, I knew her, you know, she tweeted me on Twitter and tell her, you know, I love her and blah blah blah." Like, I mean, he didn't have to do stuff like that. So check out also, he's coming out with a book as well regarding The Walking Dead. So with that said, a couple quick pops, but we will be returning next weekend with our very own podcast. I haven't decided what the topic's going to be yet. I'm sure we're going to bring up Toronto ComicCon, but we're going to basically catch up because it's been a couple weekends since we haven't had a Comic-Con, and I'm just going to whip through the news as fast as I can because let me tell you, having an abscessed tooth really fucking sucks. We really need to get over seeing Batman's costume because I think now this is, I don't even know what news podcast I'm on now, but I'm tired of talking about it. And I'm sure we're all talking about it, but now there's this new picture floating around the internet right now of a black and white photo of Batman. You know what's really annoying about that is, one, you can tell that it's photoshopped. because you can just tell by the graininess of the look of it, they're trying to get away from, I don't know, maybe they take a picture from one of the comic books as there's like a side-by-side comparison of it, and they like, oh, look at that. It's like, listen, they will let us see the fucking costume when they're ready to show us the fucking costume. We have bigger problems in the world right now, like who's being casted for every other fucking role they can find. I mean, it's kind of nice that the Batman's going to have white overlays for the eyes, so you can't actually see his eyes, which is really how it is in the comic books and was in the animated series, so I'll give them props for that. But I mean, we're wasting way too much time going on and on and on and on and on about the fucking costume. I mean, let's see the costume when it comes out, because all the pictures that I've seen on the internet all look fake and all look Photoshop, so I mean, from one geek to another, stop wasting your time, because all it's doing is causing your own frustration. Here's a little curveball for you. What if I told you that they're redoing Zorro? Yeah, they're going to redo Zorro, but it's going to be a different version. It's not going to be the Antonio Banderas version or anything to that effect. It's actually going to be the darker version of Zorro. And from what I read in the actual article, it actually looks pretty good. But Sony Pictures has taken the lead on it, and they hired Chris Bull to write the film. He's not really known. He's kind of known to be a playwright, etc., but he's not someone you'd be like, oh, he wrote blah blah blah. No one really knows what he wrote. So it's very interesting that they're going to give a nobody the role, but from the way how they, what I've read, they want to keep it very dark, more like a, be kind of nice if they went like a Spawn dark, like the animated series Spawn, if you've seen that. That'd be kind of cool, but it doesn't really list anything as of yet, so all I know is that the swordplay is going to be combined with martial arts that came from Europe, and they're basically doing a bunch of different correlations of Europe-style sword fighting mixed in with martial arts to give it more of an awesome action film look to it than doing the typical Zorro with the Z bullshit. So I'll look forward to that. True Detective's over. You have no idea how depressing this is for me, because I looked forward to this show. Now, was it smart to put it head-to-head with The Walking Dead every Sunday? That I do not know. But what I will say is that two things came out of last night's show. Well, three things. One, a closure that can really fuck you up. But it wasn't a full closure, but we saw some very interesting things about that. So I'll be probably writing my blog later on tonight, if not tomorrow. So look up Mr. J's blog Canada on Tumblr. I'll be writing that up, and I'll also be posting that on the page as well. But wow, is all I have to say. But two things came out of this. One, they asked the creator of the show, I always forget his name, that's why I always write everything down, Nick Pozzolato, if there's going to be a second season. And he said that McConaughey's out, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. So I don't know how they write a second season to True Detective, because True Detective was, the way how it was written from the beginning was to be a mini-series, so they'd have to put in some mystical movie magic on this one to make it come back. And secondly, doesn't beat out Breaking Bad's infamous, the crashing of the network in the States during the final episode of Breaking Bad that people called The Cops over because they were trying to watch it. Apparently this really fucked up the HBO To Go app, and it crashed the whole app, and people were having meltdowns over it. So with that said, definitely room for True Detective to come back, but I don't think it's going to be good if McConaughey's not there, so something for everyone to think about. The big fear we had about Spider-Man 2 was that there was too many fucking villains. And apparently someone heard the call, because it was recently published on the internet and many other news outlets that the Rhino character will only have 4 minutes in the movie. What a waste. Like, I mean, what's the point of putting a villain in a movie that does not have anything longer than 4 minutes? Even Scarecrow had a longer time. Scarecrow was in like half of the first movie. And he was in about the other movies, but I mean, he had good airtime. So you're going to waste all this money getting Paul Giamatti in a cyborg Rhino costume for only 4 minutes? That's kind of bad taste if you ask me. I wouldn't even know why you would even waste your time doing it, but if somebody's going to foot the bill for it, who's going to bitch? Listen, we got a lot of things happening right now. I'm very excited for The Flash being in production right now. There's a lot of pictures floating around the internet with Flash footage of, during the pilot episode, which is pretty epic. I am actually not looking at it. The reason why I'm not looking at it is I don't want to spoil it for myself. I actually want to sit down and digest this. Because you know what? There's a lot of people did not like Netflix. Netflix is going to rule the world one fucking day. Hate to break it to you. But we still have roles that haven't been filled. And guess what? We need a Luke Cage. And originally, the Luke Cage that I wanted was The Rock. Why not? Look at the size of the fucking guy. Why not? It's The Rock. You can't do anything wrong. But what if, Terry Crews wants to do it? Wait a minute. He does. That's right. Cheeseburger fucking Eddie wants to be Luke Cage. And I know he's been busy working on the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he just got renewed for a second season, and for good for him, because that guy's been in and out of the movies for God knows how many years, and he hasn't had a steady check. Now he's going to have a steady check, and he's really one of the nicest guys out there. I hear a lot of positive things about him, so, I mean, it's kind of frustrating that he never hit this point, but if he wants to be Luke Cage, let him try out. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Mind you, he'd lose all his hokiness, as he's been known for, especially in the last couple Expendable movies, but hey, there's sacrifices in life, so think about it. I know what you're thinking. You just recorded the news on Friday. Why are you doing it again on Monday? Well, Friday I got really pissed off with some Last of Us news, and I just needed to get it out of my system. But it's out. Well, for the most part. But that basically concludes this week of the news. A couple things just before we go. Well, first off, if you haven't subscribed to our page, go to facebook.com/DroidsAreLookingForCanada and like our page. We're about almost 13,000 followers strong, so we appreciate all our fans there. And as well, go to twitter.com/TDYARLF_Canada. So the Droids you're looking for, abbreviated _Canada. And follow us on Twitter. We got about 102 Twitter fans right now. I won't lie to you, I don't understand the whole concept of Twitter some days, but to each your own. And tell me, look up Mr. J's Blogs Canada. I have a couple followers on there as well, and I'm always writing a blog about some type of TV show that really caused me heartburn, and I need to get it out. So stay tuned. This week we'll have another episode of Video Game Review, which I'll be reviewing momentarily, but I'll be airing later in the week, about Thief and why Eidos Montreal is a shit company. And also there will be a Video Game Vault review, and that will be Sonic 2 from the Sega Genesis. I know, I don't typically spoil it, but I'm going to this time. So, with that as well, I want to take a moment and thank everyone we met this weekend. Me and Rainer and Andrew, we got to meet a lot of cosplayers this weekend. We had such a great time. We also got to Andrew took a part of the Doctor Who Society panel, and I got involved in the cosplay panel regarding how to work with spandex. Believe it or not, that was very informative. I may not have any interest at all in this life to wear spandex because, I'd scar people, but I was actually blown away. I was like, holy shit, I can actually do this. So, a lot of good things to come for it. So, next Comic-Con will be Niagara Falls Comic-Con. So, also, a couple shout-outs to some friends. That Joker guy was actually pretty funny as always. He's also in the photos. And if you are hearing this and you haven't done it yet, if we got a photo by us, we gave you a business card. And if we give you a business card, it means your photo's on our page. So go ahead, tag yourself. And have yourself a chimichanga.
Game over, man! It's game over!
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.